create marketing, okay, that helps them move away from what they want first towards what they want second. Does that make sense? Does my program, product, or service help somebody, okay, move away from something, that they don't want to experience in their life? When you are doing any marketing, if you have a business, then you have to learn how to get people to stop and pay attention to you first. Have you ever heard of the term neuromarketing or neurosales, and why big brands spend billions of dollars in order to capture your attention? How much do you think colors influence what you do and pay attention to? How much do you think that what is said in the first 5 seconds of an infomercial or a headline to see for an ad, how much do you think that influences your behavior? Major corporations, whether it's Yahoo, Frito-Lay, PayPal, Coca-Cola, they've all been using neuromarketing for many, many, many years. Now, are any of you using neuromarketing in your own business, right? So realistic, what exactly is the point? Stick around and you'll find out, or you can bounce. So the question now becomes, is if there are ways, all right, to get people's attention right away, do you think that if you have a business, it makes sense in order for you to learn a little bit of neuromarketing? Do you think it makes sense? How many of you are aware? Let me show you something. How many of you are aware that, when we're talking about the human brain evolved in 3 specific layers: the primal brain, the limbic system or emotional brain, then the logical neocortex brain. Let me ask you a question. See how good you are at neuromarketing and neurosales. Which part of the brain should you target when you are doing marketing if you have a business? Hey there, Ryan. If you have a business, which part of the brain should you target if you are looking to get people's attention? What's the fastest way to get somebody's attention? All right. Question. Come on, give me the answers. Put it in the chat. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to have you on. Hi, Kay. Nice to have you on. Grapefruitali. Emotional, that's a good one, but there's one better than emotional, better than limbic. There's one that is better than limbic. And Cheryl Barbara, I'm streaming live right now, just so you know, on Instagram there, Facebook over there. And I'll just go back and forth. So it's actually the primal part of the brain. So let me explain. Okay. Before I explain, let me share. So Yahoo was doing some tests, and I've got these written out so I don't forget. So Yahoo was doing some tests that they created to attract more users to their search engine. So they ran this upbeat ad, this very, very high intensity ad, mid intensity ad, and lower intensity ad. And they put EEG, electroencephalogram, it's always a hard word, electroencephalogram on people's brains to see which ones they reacted to the most. And once they got which one reacted the best, they believed that their creative would work. So when we're dealing with, and I'll tell you about Frito-Lay and PayPal in just a moment, when we are dealing with messaging, whether it's your ads, your copy, whether it is a headline you have for your social media post, think about this question. All right, here it is. What do humans do faster? Do they move away from danger or fear faster, or do they move towards pleasure faster? Which one? Which one do we do? So Dr. E.V. Young, primal brain seeks to avoid pain. So think about this. If you have a business, all right, and your business helps people move away from something that they do not want. So is it possible that if they're afraid of something, if they're afraid, let's say, of losing money, if they're afraid of getting sick, if they're afraid of dying, if they're afraid of not living longer, if they're afraid of not having something they want, if there's a fear, a pain or a fear, or something that they're frustrated about, make sure that initially you start off with at least, hey, if you're worried about, if you're stressed about, if you're fearful of blank, 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 then follow this three-step process and you will, and then name the opposite, right? So big brands use activation of the primal brain as much as possible. So when we think about how does the brain work, you see that there's a Frankenstein's monster up there. You don't see this Frankenstein's monster up there. There's a part of our brain that's constantly, okay, in this state of what if negative. So YNOK, nyuk, fight, flight, or freeze. So if there is something that somebody's afraid of and you can help them remove that fear, then create marketing, okay, that helps them move away from what they want first towards what they want second. Does that make sense? When we're dealing with information, think about this, all right? I'm going to move away for a second. Watch this, right? So you've got a brain. You're talking to this thing, right? So as they're seeing your message, whether it's video, audio, whether they're reading it, whether they're hearing it, it's going into a part of the brain called the thalamus. That's a relay station for anything that is critically important. Now, if I'm afraid of something, that's critically important to the brain because the number one priority of the brain is avoidance of pain or discomfort, safety and survival first. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, for example, Frito-Lay, you can use this in a variety of different ways. Frito-Lay did some testing around the color and texture, okay, of bags for potato chips. And they realized, let me read this to you. They tried this brand shiny packaging, okay, and the less shiny packaging wasn't perceived as well as the shinier packages. Why? Because they were looking for electrical activity in the primal brain, or what they call is the lizard brain sometimes. But then there was a certain emotional activation in their brain. The amygdala is not just around processing fear, but the amygdala, two little pieces in the brain, just above your ear, obviously inside, is responsible for emotional responses. And they got the highest emotional responses when the shiny bags were shown. So when you are doing any marketing, okay, ask yourself this question. Does my program, product, or service help somebody, okay, move away from something, okay, move away from something that they don't want to experience in their life? They don't want to move, they don't want to experience stress. They don't want to experience anxiety. They don't want to experience not having enough money. They don't want to experience being fat. They don't want to experience whatever it is that they're experiencing. If you can create language patterns or videos that shows them, hey, if you're experiencing or feeling or suffering from blank, 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 here's a three-step process. Here's a book. Here's a video. Here's something to help you move towards what is it that they want. Does that make sense? If you think that makes sense, give me a like or love. This is Neuro-Marketing 101. You're talking to a brain. I know that you see my glasses, actually my wife's glasses, okay? These are my wife's glasses. I just happen to like them, right? And you see my hair and my face and my skin and my nose. Remove all that away, and this is what you're talking to. You're talking to basically a biocomputer, and the biocomputer processes information, energy information. My words are energy information. What you see through your eyes, right, is the light shining off of my body, energy, vibrating packets of energy called quanta, right? Coming through the eyes into the brain. And so when our brain has a match for something that we are afraid of, well, then guess what? We pay attention. So are you creating marketing that causes people to pay attention? Are you creating social media posts that cause people to pay attention? Are you creating videos? Are you creating little workbooks? You know, how many of you like this stuff? Because see this, the art and science of neuromarketing, just finished my newest little creation, proven brain science and cutting edge strategies to create offers so powerful, people will feel stupid not buying from you. If you want, I think this is what, 35, 40, this is 54 pages of content that I created for you on how to effectively find your ideal clients, how to create messaging for them, and how to make more sales. Now, how much do you think this is worth? 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, 50 bucks? How much? How much do you think I should sell this for? Anybody? Anybody want this for free? Would anybody like this for free? The art and science of neuro-marketing. Anybody that has a business want it for free? All right, so here's what you can do. I'll give it to the people who are on this training right now on Instagram. Go to my bio, get it for free. All right, get it for free. It'll help you. On Facebook, my team will put a link. I'll give it to you for free right now. So just go and get it. You won't have to pay me a nickel, but you can thank me a lot later. Deal? If you get it and you love it, will you share the content that I'm sharing on my Instagram or Facebook page with somebody else? Okay? Can't give you more than free. Okay? All right, so I'll give it to you for free. There'll be a link. Now, when we're dealing with, okay, neuro-marketing, when you can create your messaging in a way that gets people attention, think about this. How many of you, like me, are busy all day long? How many of you, when you're on the internet, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, you're on Reels, scrolling, you're looking for things that capture your attention. And for some of it, we're having fun. I get that. But if something catches your attention, don't you stop? Well, if you have a business, isn't your first priority to get people to stop and pay attention to you instead of all of the other messages? Like, isn't that the number one priority? So when you are doing any marketing, if you have a business, then you have to learn how to get people to stop and pay attention to you first. Then you need to lead them, all right, along a path to make a lot of sense. Hey, Peter, nice to see you, my friend. All right, so then you need to lead them, but your number one priority, especially on social media, whether it's free or whether it's paid advertising, your number one process is to get them to watch you. What are you saying? And not to scroll left or right or up or down. So when you do neuromarketing, you activate the primal brain or the emotional brain, and then you activate the other part of the brain called the logical brain, the neocortex, so that people move along a path that's logical for their brain. If you only talk to the logical brain, it does not send a message to the emotional brain or the primal brain. The primal brain and the emotional brain sends a message to the logical brain. Does that make sense? So many of the business owners don't know how to do marketing right, especially in today's day and age when we're all so busy with what? 6,200 thoughts in our own head. 6,200. Then Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, television, radio, etc. Leader Ann, I'm not on Clubhouse anymore, right? So when we are talking about neuromarketing, let me share with you PayPal. Does anybody know what a USP is? A unique selling proposition? It's the positioning statement for your company that differentiates you from every other, business out there. So for example, Federal Express, when it positively, absolutely has to be there overnight. The promise was overnight delivery, right? The promise was overnight delivery. They mastered that. So the question then became, where do they put that message? And the answer was everywhere. Why? Because they want to make sure that it got people's attention, right? Remember Domino's Pizza in the United States? Fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it's free. Fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it's free. Who's not paying attention to that? Right? If you want pizza delivered hot in 30 minutes or it's free, then this makes sense to you. Now, PayPal tested a bunch of different USPs, positioning statements. And you know what they did? They found out what the electrical activity was in people's brains. Which did they resonate with a lot? Which did they not resonate with? And guess what they did? They went with security and safety, as part of their USP: convenience, security, and safety around PayPal and transferring money. So those specific language patterns, okay, got more people to pay attention and download the PayPal app initially. So neuromarketing and neurosales is something that anybody could learn. For those of you that's joined, I've been talking about my newest book, The Art and Science of Neuromarketing. Many of you may have my Having It All book, or my other New York Times or other books, Innercise, or my other book, New York Times bestseller, The Answer. This book you can only get one way right now. I'm going to give it to the people free on Instagram. Go to my link, download this right now. It's about 55 pages. It's short, it's sweet, okay? It'll show you how to create offers, how to inform people, how to engage people, how to skyrocket, right? How to use the neuromarketing formula. I'm going to give it to you for free. Hey, this is John, and if you liked that video, watch the next video, because it is packed with things that you can do right now to achieve success way faster than ever before.